Hello, and today we are going to talk about and make a review on a manga series that is very short but incredible, and that I really recommend you all to read if you can. It has some trigger warnings, but it has a lot of beautiful art depictions, a lot of beautiful stories and characters, and I think that if you want to give it a try, it's one of the best that you can go with. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing, as previously stated, a manga series. And in this case it is a manga series with only 3 volumes of the series, so it's not that big of a commitment and you can get them for not as much as a pricey as other manga series, if you catch my drift. And this series that I'm talking about is the Soloist in a Cage series by Shiro Moriya. This is beautiful. I've already talked about this on my February wrap-up since I've read it in February. I've reread the first one and I read for the first time the second and the third. It is completely finished up to the moment, and so you can just pick it up, read it. And spoilers for the rest of this video, I am going to be praising the hell out of this manga series because it's one of my favorites and it's probably going to be on my favorite manga reads of the year of 2024. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so you can just get into it and enjoy. So Soloist in a Cage is, as I previously stated, comprised of 3 volumes. So we have the first volume, the second volume, and finally the third volume, which is a little bit chunkier than the others. But for just questions of feeling lighter on my wrists, I'm just going to be holding up the first volume so that I can talk to you guys a little bit about the story, show you a little bit of the art style, and reviewing this manga. So Soloist in a Cage is the story about this prison city, almost like prison country. It's a really big place of cities and states almost inside of a walled prison. And for this city, you can go there to just because you stole a bread or because you actually murdered or raped a child. So you see there's a lot of different people in this city, but in this prison, one thing is for sure: when you get in, you will never be getting out. It is a walled city filled with drones and AI robots with a lot of guns that are supposed to charge to you the moment you do something that you are not supposed to be doing. So trying to escape or trying to hit those guards or trying to hit the presidents of the ward and stuff like that. But inside of the city, the criminals run free and they can do everything that they want, and people die in there. Basically, if you're alone inside of the city, you are doomed. If you go out at night alone, you are doomed. If you go out in the daylight alone, you are doomed. If you are children, you are doomed to be killed, raped, abused, maimed, and other situations. If you are adults also, if you are in pairs, maybe you can just live for a little bit longer, but it's very difficult to not be attacked in this city. And so people normally, what they do is they live inside of their houses and they just get some food. They try to go into the areas of factories or car sales because, as I've told you, this is a city that has developed, and so there are jobs for people in factories, and they try to go there to be protected by the guards and the wards and not be attacked by others and earn their keep and be able to buy food. But the story that we follow is about Chloe, and she is this little girl here, and Chloe is completely alone in the world with the exception from her baby brother. It's literally a baby, it has just been born. And she is her brother's keeper, let's just say like that. She is the one that cleans, that dances, that changes diapers and everything. And we don't know where her parents are. We don't know if they deserted them. We don't know if they tried to get out to buy some food and were killed. All we know is that they went out someday and they never came back. And so Chloe is the only one taking care of her brother. And the only way they can survive, because she's a child and a woman, so going outside is death for her and her brother. So the only way that they survive is because their neighbors are 3 major criminals, but really kind-hearted, and they live some food for them to be able to eat and provide. But one day, they decide that they are going to escape. The conditions are reunited, there's a breach in the wall, they're the ones that are fixing it, and they learn that it's going to be a heavy snow day on the night they're going to escape. And because of the snow, the drones and the robots don't work properly because they cannot see as well, and so they will rely only on ears. So if they go quietly, they will never be caught, and they can just climb the wall and go away from the breach. So they decided they are going to try and escape, but this poses a problem for Chloe since her and her brother will not be able to survive without these people. So she decides that she's going to take her brother and she's also going to climb the wall and follow them out of there and live because she wants what's best for her brother and for herself. She does not have an egotistical bone in her body, and she just wants, her brother to live and her to live with him. And so they attempt to escape, but during that escape, something goes wrong, and Chloe ends up running away with these three people, but her brother falls down the wall and stays on the inside of the wall. And so the entirety of Soloist in a Cage is actually the story of Chloe trying to get back into the prison city, which is a place no one would want to go back to find out if her brother survived the fall, if he's still alive, and to try and retrieve him from the prison city to live with her and to save him. So already we have very dramatic themes of family, we have loss of loved ones, possibly, we have found family with the prisoners and Chloe, and we have a main character that is just so selfless, so amazing, and such a beautiful person that she's willing to risk everything that she knows can happen to her to just go in there and save her brother. Of course, Chloe is going to have some training with the people that saved her, because by herself she would never be able to go in there, but you don't know the stakes that are so high inside of the city and what bad things can happen to her and to her brother if he's still alive. So it's just a very filled trigger warning story. There's a lot of on-page blood and maiming and sort of talks of cannibalism, and also of things that are done to children that you just don't want to hear about. So if that's something that is bad for you, and the art style of this, actually, I'm going to show you some stuff in a moment, but the art style of this is actually fairly realistic to a point where the domination that Shiro Moria has on the black and white and the shadows is incredible, but it also makes everything look darker, realistic, and when you see someone bleed or being hurt, you see someone being hurt, if you know what I mean. So if that's too much for you, I would advise you not to get into this, but if it's not, and if you like a cool dystopian found family and rescuing family sort of story, this one is definitely for you. So I will try to show you some of the art style of this without actually showing you any spoilers. So I'm using only the first volume and I'm using just some innocuous drawings, but look at this. Look at the detail in the art style. There are some places where it's not as detailed, so you can see an action going on, but when you have the details of the art style, it's just something so beautiful. And as I was saying, the best control of shades and black and white and gray is just spectacular. Let me see if I can show you. So these ones are not as detailed because they have lots of actions and they're a little bit more goofy. But when you have things that are, look at this. It's beautiful. It's kind of like you can see the snow falling and everything. This is the city. And it's such a beautiful art style, so raw. And I have a love story with art styles with black and white and all handy scribbling. I love it. And I absolutely love this art style. I absolutely love this story. And I think that Soloist in a Cage is amazing. It has so many emotions. You cannot not cry a little bit, at least in the third one, but in the first one I did already. And it's just this girl and she's looking for her brother, you know, and it's just this just simple tale, but then they weave about characters and feelings and darkness and despair, and it's kind of like a story on guilt the guilt that she feels for leaving him behind, the guilt that she feels for everything she's doing to find him, and the guilt that these men that saved her feel for letting her go alone into this because they don't want to get back into this. And just, is that guilt going to overwhelm her and make her not worthy of finding her brother if he's still alive? It's something so beautiful. It poises a little bit on the line between what is good and beautiful and what is dark. And it's called Soloist for a reason. And when you do find out what that reason is, it's just something spectacular. I absolutely love Soloist in a Cage, and it has 5 stars for me for all of the 3 volumes, and I recommend it so dearly that I hope that some of you will pick this up and love it the way that I did. So that's going to be all for this review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me in the comments down below if you've read this manga. If you haven't, what's been your favorite manga from the beginning of this year, and if you're going to pick this one up. So that's going to be all for today. Happy readings to you all. Bye!